Hashtag life beat depression. It's day 832, and you know what we're about to do. Knock out depression with another somatic healing session. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, appreciate you guys and girls out there. As you know, it's a martial arts for mental health show. We like to focus in on those mental health tools first. First one being gratitude. My gratitude going out to everybody who's been so supportive of our cause and supportive of one another, sharing free mental health tools and things that work for them to build each other up. Appreciate you guys. And I'm also grateful that the police didn't just kick me out. They're passing by. Hopefully they'll let us be for a good 15 minutes. We get another round of progress going. Shout out to Danny V, 88, for being the first one, and you're part of my gratitude section. I think they're coming back around. Yeah. All right, we might have to speed through this one. Hopefully we'll get through it. We're gonna have our standard rounds, 3 minutes, three rounds each, 3 minutes each, 1 minute breaks to catch your breath, drink some water, and check in on yourself. Make sure you're not pushing too hard. Remember, our goal is flow. Our goal is to find that zone between pushing too hard, right, and overworking, and not pushing hard enough where we fall into boredom. So we want to make sure that we give ourselves a challenge for the day, and then show up for ourselves, take into consideration all of your different factors. Did you get enough sleep last night? Did you party hard? Have you been, sleeping in a chair and your muscles are all sore and all that? Your back's out of whack. All those things are going to affect you. So you want to dial that intensity down and just put it at a level which will give you a challenge, but not be too much of a challenge. And remember, not too easy, because we'll fall into boredom. That being said, that is my gratitude section today has been you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And also want to just be grateful that it stopped raining. Grateful that the weather's not too cold for us to do this outdoors. Grateful that I found a spot where I can get out of the car and out of that chair, back on my feet and moving around a little bit. So many things to be grateful for. You don't have to stop at one. You can put as many things on the list as you'd like. So go ahead and think about the things you're grateful for today. That'll help put you in that positive mindset as we move into the lesson. Second mental health tool we're going to talk about is a progress tracking tool. It's been 832 days of consecutive progress and success for me, the Sackman. Let me know how many days it's been for you. And I already see Slayer Ken, 440 days of consecutive progress. And even if you did, I think you may have missed a day, but even if you did miss a day, don't worry. Our number never goes back to zero, right? Even if we miss a day of work, or we miss a day where we can show up, we don't lose any proof of all of the strength and endurance that we have shown over the last X amount of days, like 440 days. This is not a diet routine. This is not an exercise routine. This is not something where you fall off the wagon. You never lose proof. As long as you're keeping track of your strength and endurance, that number will never go down. We can only move forwards. We can only get stronger the longer we keep track of that. So please do keep track of yours. Let me know how it's been affecting you. And if it has been affecting you positive, please do share that with others. By sharing your progress, you can help others get inspired to make progress of their own. So thank you guys so much for that. Shout out as well to Lisa the Luminary. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. So that being said, we talked about the gratitude tool, talked about the progress tracking tool. Let's get into today's lesson. We're going to talk about some elbows today. We're going to talk about some knees today too, all of which we'll be executing from that clinch technique, that close range Muay Thai clinch technique. So we'll be using that. We'll be talking about entering the clinch through punching. We're going to punch our way into that clinch. Then once we're in the clinch, we'll talk about the tools we can use while there in that super close range situation. And if we have time, we'll also cover exit strategy when it's just friendly sparring, right? When we're friendly sparring, we don't want to damage the other person. We might not want to do takedowns. We might not be practicing takedowns that day. So we're not going to go from the clinch into the takedown. We're going to go from the clinch into a good clinch exit strategy that keeps us on the offensive even as we back out of that close pocket. So stay tuned for that. All super valuable technical stuff that we can return to at any time, right? We can continue to practice, keep those skills sharp, keep sharpening those tools, and it's always going to be valuable for us to continue drilling, and especially when it comes to fundamentals. Fundamentals are always fundamental to our success, fundamental to our training. So that being said, we talked about briefly what we were going to do. We're going to get right into it. I didn't bring my water today. I'm going to moderate my intensity to accommodate for that fact. Go ahead and make sure you're giving yourself that challenge again and moderate to your intensity as well. We'll have the fighting spirit of the 80s coming through our retro synth boombox so we can boost our progress out here. Hopefully this thing's still working. It was crapping out on me yesterday. Let's make a little Rumbly noise. There it is. There it is. It's working. Good stuff. Alright, grateful the radio's still working. Alright, let's get into it. I'm gonna pop this down right over here. Hopefully that's coming through loud and clear for you guys. And I want you to go ahead and square up into your Muay Thai position, visualizing that opponent in front of you, that depression dummy, right? If you're working on depression or anxiety, you want to assign that dummy the word and thing you're working on. So if it's depression, make it a depression dummy. If it's anxiety, make it an anxiety dummy. We're going to knock the lies right out of its face. Pop into position, Muay Thai stance. We're getting this thing going. Remember, breathe in the nose, out the mouth on those strikes. And we're going to start with the simple 1-2, that basic step forwards into the jab, rotate through for the cross, and back to stance. Keep the chin tucked, hips curled, knees bent, step in for the 1-2, whoosh, whoosh. Right down that center line, and back to stance. 1-2, and back. And keep that pattern going, and back. I want you guys to think about stepping in, tossing that jab, rotating through for the cross, and then back to stance. Keep it moving here. Turn those fists over on those strikes, moving in and out. 1, 2, and then back out. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use that cross, off of the cross, we're gonna slide that rear foot forwards, and we're gonna try and step into the clinch. So what we wanna do here too is kind of aim a little high. Toss those punches high towards the brow line of your opponent. That will make them bring their guard up, and we want this opening right here that we can slip a hand in, get behind their neck, and anchor the back of that head. So throw that 1-2 kind of high, 1-2, and on the 3, we want to slip that hand around the back of the neck, anchor in the back of the head, and then send the other one up there behind to support. Remember, don't interlock the fingers. Go hand over hand, and then we're going to drive a knee up. Boom! Knee up that center line, back to stance. Square up, hit him with the 1-2. 1, 2 on the 2, let that rear foot slide forwards. And now we're throwing it high, right? That's going to bring their guard up high. We're going to send that rear hand up the center line, behind the head, cup the back of the head for the clinch, cup with the opposite hand, and pull that head down as you send the rear knee forwards. Whoosh! And back to stance. One more time. Keep that clinch held here. We're keeping hold of the top of their head, pulling that head down and driving that knee up. Let's drill some knees. Whoosh 1, whoosh 2, whoosh 3, whoosh 4, whoosh 5, whoosh 6. Let's swap the feet, but keep clinch position. Go ahead and swap those 2 feet like you're going into southpaw, and drill some knees from the opposite side. Hinging through the hip. Whoosh. Right up that center line, pulling the head down. Whoosh. And back, whoosh, and back, whoosh, and back. Now make sure, see how that rear leg is sliding back? I'm opening up more space. That gives me more room to speed up the knee and do extra damage. Keep that clinch held the whole time. Whoosh, and drive that knee in. Whoosh, 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 and back to stance. Swap the feet, keep the clinch held. Boom, swapping the feet, fire some knees from the opposite side. Let's go. Whoosh 1, whoosh 2, whoosh 3. Whoosh 4. Now let's talk about the first exit strategy. We're going to take this hand, slide it down to the chest, and we're going to rotate through. We've got that hand on the chest for close range. We're going to rotate through the shoulders and hips, whoosh, and push that opponent off. Open up that gap and create that exit opportunity out of the clinch. That's the end of round 1. Catch your breath, drink some water, check in on you. Shout out to Jason Rocco for being here, and for everyone who's tuning in for support. Appreciate you. We got 2 more rounds left. So far, so good. We're out here in a sketchy alley in Illinois. Hopefully not getting kicked out. We got 42 seconds. Tune into you. Make sure you're giving yourself a challenge, but not pushing too hard. Staying limber and getting that progress. Showing up for yourself today. Second round, we're going to continue kind of where we left off. We're going to punch our way into the clinch position. And then once we're in that position, we're going to start working with some elbows this time. You see me just staying limber, I suggest you do the same thing. Shout out to Shawnee Boy. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you. So we got 15 seconds left. We're going to start again with that stepping into the jab, sliding the rear foot forwards on the cross, and then we reach up that center line. Try and go up that guard, up that opening in the opponent's guard, right? Move their hands are this way or this way. We want to send our hand right up there behind the head, cup the back of the head, and then with the opposite hand, reinforce. But this time, what I want you to do is start the clinch with that lead hand, and then roll. We're going to roll up the center line with a rising elbow to the face. So you're gonna turn through the hips and shoulders. We're gonna turn through on the ball of that rear foot and send that elbow right up the center line as you pull the head down. Bang, making contact with the head. That rear hand is gonna comb our hair back. It's gonna comb the hair back and you send that elbow right up the center line. Now what happens is they get hit in the center of the face, their guard comes down to defend, opens them up to complete that clinch. All right, so let's practice that together one more time, a little technical. Step in for the jab, aiming high, bringing their guard up high where we want it. Let that rear foot slide forwards on the cross. Again, aiming high, get their guard up high where we want it. Now we're gonna rotate through and send this hand up the pocket behind the head to cup the head. Next step, we're gonna give them a rising elbow to the face, whoosh, turning through the hips and shoulders, combing the hair back, bang, a nice direct hit up that center line. That's gonna bring their guard down low, and that's the point where we'll flip this rear hand over and lock in for that clinch. And then it's back to knees. Let's do it, you know it. Send that rear knee forwards. Whoosh, 1, whoosh, 2, whoosh, 3, whoosh, 4, whoosh, 5, whoosh, 6. And swap the feet, keep the clinch. Boom, feet swap. Let's send the knee from the opposite side. Whoosh, 1, whoosh, 2, whoosh, 3, whoosh, 4, whoosh, 5, whoosh, 6, whoosh, 7, whoosh, 8, whoosh, 9, whoosh, 10. Back to stance, and we're gonna work the exit strategy, but first, let's work some more elbows in there. From here, from clinch position, let's roll a round elbow in. That means we're gonna let go with this rear hand. Right, we let go with that rear hand. Bring it down and around to our chest. Twist through, bang. Round elbow to the head. Bring it back. Go for the rising elbow. Bang. We're gonna keep changing the angle on them. Keep them in confusion. Go for the round elbow again. Boom. And back to a knee. Knee strike. Bang. Back to stance. Let's exit strategy. Bring that rear hand around onto their chest. Twist through the shoulders and hips, letting go with that rear hand as well. Whoosh. And push them off. Create that gap. Create that space. And we're back to stance. We've got our guard. Back in. We're going to enter that clinch one more time. Step forwards with the high jab and cross. Step into the jab. Slide the rear foot forwards for the cross. Reach up for the clinch. Support with the opposite hand. And drive the knee. Bang! Back to stance. Keep the clinch. Send that elbow up the center line. Boom! Send that elbow over the side. Bang! And push him away. Drop that lead hand down to the chest. Twist through arms and shoulders, and that's the end of round 2. Catch your breath. Drink some water. Right, and Ken said, nope, he's right on 440 days today. Just making sure. Yesterday was 439. Good stuff, brother. Glad to hear you're staying consistent out there. I know you caught that one show, not during the live, but on the replay. And if anybody else would like to take these lessons at their own discretion, remember, you can catch them at any time, even anonymously, on Sac Life Daily on YouTube. I do appreciate the follow, support, and the transparency. That's one of the ways that we can help each other. But if you'd like to stay anonymous, that's totally cool too. We've got an outlet for you. Check out those replays on Sac Life Daily on YouTube. One word, Sac Life Daily. All right, we got 10 seconds. We're going to pop into the final round. We'll put those elbows and knees together. We'll talk about that clinch entrance and exit strategy. We'll make it even more effective. Create even bigger gap by throwing a teep in there at the end. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's get back into stance, Muay Thai position. Step in for a high jab and cross. Toss the jab high. Cross, you want to let that rear foot slide forwards as we turn. Here's our entry chance, right? We brought their guard up. We're going to turn through, grab the back of the head with the lead hand. And now give them a rising elbow right up the center line. Boom! Rising elbow. And as you turn back, you can let that hand fall behind to support the clinch. Let's send a knee in there, nice and tight. Knee nice and tight. And now we're going to work the exit strategy. Let that lead hand now let go. Slide it down to the front of their chest. We're going to twist through shoulders and hips to create distance. Let's say they've got a lot of balance, good balance. They didn't go very far. We're going to create even more distance by bringing that lead leg up for a teep. So we're going to bring our stance back to center. Bring the lead leg up and then push with the ball of foot. Whoosh! Push through that center line. Create a huge gap. Knock them off balance. And we'll set up for our next attack. Back to stance. Square up with that opponent. Step in for the high jab and cross. Stepping in for the high jab. Slide forwards on the rear foot for the high cross. slip that hand in for the clinch, and give them a rising elbow. Bang, right there. From here, give them a round elbow as well. Boom, round elbow. Still got one hand on the clinch. Now let that hand come over and support the head and shift over to knees. We're gonna keep it diverse, keep them on their toes. Shift over to the knee, whoosh, knee strike, swap the feet. Bang, toss the knee from the opposite side. Boom, and back to stance, swap the feet again. Keep the clinch held, knee on the same side. Bang, back to stance, give them a rising elbow. Whoosh, give them a round elbow. Bang, get that clinch tight, toss the knee in there. Bang, back to stance. Let's push him with the hands. Lead hand comes down, twisting through the shoulders and hips, creating space. If it's not enough, if we didn't knock him off balance there, bring your weight back, create a little more distance, and hit him with that lead T. Whoosh, right down the center line, guard tight, created that gap, create that opening, and we can run in for the next attack. Get close, hit him with a high jab, bang, high jab, rotate through for the high cross, boom. Slip that hand in for the clinch, entry point, bang, right there. Slip the other hand around, anchor, and hit him with the knees. Knee one, swap the feet. Knee two, swap the feet. Knee one. And now roll that elbow in, up the center line, boom. Around the side, bang. Up the center line, boom. Around the side, bang. Back to stance, we're gonna push away, we're gonna create that gap. Let that lead hand slide down onto the chest. Turn through the hips and shoulders. Square up and toss that T. Whoosh. Back to stance. Hit him with the jab cross. Slip in with the guard. Bang. Clinch. And fire a knee off. Bang. That's the final knee right there. Well done. If you stuck with us, that was 9 minutes of exercise. Woo. Along with a whole bunch of technicals that can improve physical fitness, mental resiliency, self-defense, and so many more things in our lives if we just stay consistent. Remember, it's not about the total amount of time that we show up every day. It's just about the fact that we do show up every day and crush that goal. So whether it was 1 minute or it was all 9 minutes, give yourself credit for showing up in the face of anything that's trying to stop you. And make sure that you count each and every one of those days, because it will add up. It can only add up into more proof that you are stronger than those debilitating effects of depression or anxiety. Until next time, I'll catch you guys same sack time, same sack channel, same sack life. Sack man out.